Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from AlexMercedCoder.dev, and this is going to be the third in this video where we're building the super to-do list. So I've created my models. Now what I want to do is that there's going to be certain things I'm going to want to do in my routes or certain actions I want to do with those models. But instead of just doing all that logic in my routes and making my routes really crowded later on, or my controllers really crowded later on, I want to take a lot of the actual sort of data manipulation logic and put it into services. So these are just going to be sort of bundles of methods for interacting with different, with the specific interactions I plan on doing with each model. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm going to head cd into the services folder. Okay, and then I want to create a user service, a to-do service, and a to-do service and a category service. Okay, and then each of these services are just going to export default a class called, let's say category service. Okay, and then I will import all three models because I will probably need all three in these. Import category, import to do. Okay. So this will be user service, or that's to do. And then this one, and actually technically those should be uppercase because it's a class. So this should be to do. And then this would be user service. Okay, and the idea is I want to put a method to do the different things that I would expect to do for a user per se. Okay, so in this case, when I create a user, I'm going to want to encrypt their I'm going to want to encrypt their what am I thinking of? Their password. So we're probably going to want to import bcrypt here. Okay. Let me think. I'm probably going to want JSON web token here. And I think that is good. So the first thing we're going to probably possibly do is we want to create a user. Okay. So I'm going to say user service.create. Okay. And this will be async. So we just use the word async. And this is going to take in like the user, which will just be an object with the username and the user password. Okay. And the first thing you should do is hash the password. Okay. Yep, that works for me. Well, this is an async function, so no need to use the sync versions of these functions. So we can just await bcrypt.gensalt. Okay. And there's the hash. Perfect. Okay. And then we set the password as a hash. Yep. And then we're going to do is create the user. Okay, and then I'm going to want to try to catch any errors because the database might error. So I'm going to wrap this in a try catch block. Yep. And we're just going to say console.log error.message. Okay, so that we get we just console log whatever the problem was within the database. Perfect. Okie dokie. And that works for me. So let's just think about this real quick. So we create the user. Is there anything I need to return? If everything is successful, I probably would want to return the new user. So return user. Okay, cool. Okay, so there we go. We have the logic for when a user is created. Okay. And that starts there. So the next method is going to be what happens when a user logs in. Generally, when they log in, there's going to be two steps. There's going to be sort of like we need to verify, or actually we just log in and then we just return the decoded JWT token. So we'll say log in. And again, we'll pass in the user credentials. Okay, now the first thing we want to do is verify the user exists. Find the user, yep. Okay, so we're going to just go query the user from, so const user is going to equal the user model dot find one, but not based on email, based on username. Okay, then we'll check if user exists. Okay, so basically this is going to say if, and basically what this does is if the user doesn't exist, that's what that means, because it comes back undefined, then it'll throw an error. User does not exist. So that works for me. Okay, and that would end that function there. Cool. And if now we want to check if password matches. Okay, and that's where we're going to need kind of bcrypt. Okay, and basically what this is going to do is just say, hey, we have this variable called isMatch. So basically, if bcrypt compares the password that the user gave us with the hashed password inside that we saved in the database, if those are a match, then that. So then what we'll do is we'll just check if password does not match. We'll handle that error. And you can see there, oh, I love you, GitHub Copilot. You're so good. And then you'll throw a new error, invalid credentials. Wonderful. Okay, wait a second. What's the wrong here? Oh, we didn't make this an async function. My bad. Okay, yay for error messages. Okay, so if that's the situation, then the password is legit. The user is authenticated. Okay, so then the next step would be we're gonna create a token. Okay, so first I'm gonna say const secret. We want the secret in its own variable. Okay. I'm just trying to think of any. I think I might want to move that out of there. Control X and move that outside here because I'm going to use that in multiple methods. Okay. Create token. Create token. So then we're going to say, okay, const token equals JWT sign. Exactly right. Do I want the password in there? Not user ID is fine. Okay, but I don't want it to be ID. I want username. Actually, no, yeah, let's include the ID. We should call it underscore ID, so it matches. And username. Okay, and then we'll have user dot username. Okay. So that way we always have that in the token and when we get responses back from the thing. And then what we want to do is return the token. Cool. Okay. So it'll throw an error if there's a problem. Wonderful. And last thing we want to do is just kind of have the logic to decode a token. Okay, so decode token. Okay, and it should be taking the token. Okay, and then this should also be async. I gotta remember these are async functions because we gotta return. These will be wrapped in promises, the return values. So something to mentally remember, because that'll bite me later. You watch. Okay, so the ID here is I should just take the token in. And then what it's going to do is verify the token. Okay, so let's say const decoded, that's fine. JWT token, secret. Okay. Then check. Actually, let me think about that. Okay, JWT, verify token, good. But that's going to be await. And I am going to want to put this in a try catch block. And I probably want to do that with the other function too. Okay, catch error, yep. Let's just say console.log error.message. Okay. Cool. Okay, so just that way, if anything goes wrong with verifying. Well, the question is, yeah, that's fine. Const decoded await. And then what I'm going to want to do is just return well, find the user. Yeah, that's right. So const user, we're going to go get the user from the database. There we go. And then we will return the user, because then that'll get stashed away by the middleware somewhere we need it. Save. And now let me just put this in a try catch block. You know, because you want to make sure you catch those errors. And then put it right up through here. No, let's actually not do that. It's going to create an issue with the return because the scoping of the variable. And then I got to do the catch. And then again, we'll just console.log error.message. Okay. Cool. Okay, so those should all be handled sort of gracefully. Okay, so we have our user service with these 3 functions that'll kind of do that job for us. Okay. So I'll stop here. I just don't want to have any of these videos that take too long.